Hello. Right, it's been a few days since last video, vlog, whatever we're calling this. Sharon Gale chatting to herself in the dining room. Be about right, wouldn't it? I'm not going to go through news or anything like that. I'm just going to stick to one thing. And what I am going to be doing is we've had the world's gone mad over the last couple of weeks. Talk about the cult of John Wedger. But I'm going to do another video on that. I said I wasn't unless anything interesting came up. Oh my God, be careful what you wish for. Plenty of dubiousness has come up, so that's going to be done on another day. You're going to have to excuse the state of me today. It's been one of them doing days. God, I went to Tesco's today. I'm not wearing a bloody mask. I'm not ill. So I didn't wear a mask. No one challenged me. I had my Ventolin inhaler in my back pocket. Do I usually take it out with me? Let's be honest, no, I don't. Usually forget. And this has caused me problems a couple of times. But, you know, nothing terrible. So, staff, don't say a peep. Like, I'm expecting it, and I'll just Ventolin inhaler, and that would have been the end of it. No, nobody asked. So I'm getting my little stir fry bits for today's dinner. So I'm down the veggie aisle, no problem. Gets around a couple of other aisles. Goes and picks up some, what is it, orange juice or milk or something down there on that aisle. And right, old bloke, there was about 100 people in there. It was busy, busiest I've seen it since this madness. Some silly old man, and I was the only one in there without a mask, apart from one Tesco employee rather. Silly old man, he's wearing his mask over his face, not his nose, and he goes, "Oi, you, mask." And I said, "No, that's not my name." And he said, "Why are you not wearing a mask?" And I said, "You've no any right to ask me any questions whatsoever." And he was like, started effing and jeffing at me. So I did kind of eff and jeff back at him a bit. And like, but I was smiling because of the madness of it, because it's really nothing bothers me that much these days. And he's getting more and more irate. He's like, his eyes are bulging. And I just told him to F off, and pointed out that he was actually wearing his mask wrong, so he may as well not have been wearing it anyway, even if he was going to believe the bullshit that's on the TV. So I just walked off, couldn't be bothered with it, and it's been busy today. I had to get out early, get back, and the washing machine's going into stupid spin mode, because I've not been here all week. Yeah, it's been busy. But this isn't what I want to chat about. This is just how my day has gone today so far. Right. What are the CPS up to, and what are the police up to at the moment? Now, I've had concerns about what's going on in the court and the CPS at the moment. I've mentioned it in a lot of the previous videos. Right, I'm going to give you a scenario that's been going on. How long has it been going on now? 2 months? Someone got in touch with me. Now, I don't pass judgment. It's not my job. Not my job. Who am I? Who am I to pass judgment on anyone? This is just an incredibly fucking sad story. And it's disgusting how the police and the CPS are acting here. What happened was, a guy took his child over a park. So the little boy, I think he's 2.5. He's coming up 3 now. So this was a few months ago, but the charges only came around like in the last 6-8 weeks. He's going up the slide, misfoots on the slide, and goes back. Now he goes back from about 5 foot. And he just goes straight back. The play area is that you know, that condensed spongy plasticky stuff, you know, got a very slight bounce in it, but the little lad, he went back and he whacked his head Obviously Dad's gone into a complete panic with this, because he said it was like slow motion. He's tried to grab him and he just missed him. And we've all been there. I mean, my boys were a nightmare. You know, the amount of scrapes and that they got into. They weren't kids that I was continuing having to take them down A&E. Somehow they didn't damage themselves, but they've done some really stupid stuff as kids, like hanging out of trees and getting caught and all sorts of nonsense. But that's just what kids do. They're reckless. And this was just an accident. So Dad takes little boy down because the colour drains out of him, like the little boy. He's had a serious whack on the head, you know, a serious whack on the head. Dad scoops him up, puts him in the car, drives straight to the hospital, to A&E, explains what happened. Little boy, he's not looking right, and then he's sick. So like there's a problem there because he's vomited with a head injury. So he gets he has a scan, he has an X-ray. There's no breaks to him. His back's fine, his neck's fine, and they say that he's really got a proper bump on the back of his head and concussion, and that's made him sick. So they keep him in overnight. No, this is what, that's right. Somebody at the hospital, right? These charges have just come around. So this is, he's told the story. This is what happened. Like that's that. During this time, because the little boy stayed overnight for observation, this is the start of it. He actually only spends one night in the hospital, and because they don't need many hours to run riot in your life. So the guy's been down the hospital. His wife's actually away with work, so he's like home alone with the kids. So with the little boy, what happened then was, while he's at the hospital, obviously he's not going to go anywhere. He's going to stay with his child. He's called his wife and all the rest of it. She can't get back because she's overseas. And what happens then is social services and the police have got involved, right? The guy's been at the hospital now, like, I think when we read the paperwork, I think he'd been from, this is where it gets, I'm not explaining this very well. So he's been at the hospital a good 12 odd hours at this stage. The police then are rushing to get a warrant for the house, even though this happened in a playground. The police get a warrant, they go in his house. Now, they've been out from that morning all the way through, plus, you know, we're now 20 odd hours since they were last in that house. During that time, they've got a dog. So obviously the dog's been breaking its neck, needing to go out. There's no dog flap kind of thing. And the dog's got hungry as well. So he's pulled a kitchen bin out, and there is the contents of the bin. I mean, I had a Labrador. You couldn't leave, we used to call him a Labra bin, because, you know, the kids knew when they were little, anything you don't want to eat, oh, accidentally, it's fell on the floor. Oh, look, Harry's eaten the evidence. The police are now using this. They've called in social services, all kicks off, emergency protection order, all that nonsense. We've heard it all before. But the CPS are now pressing criminal charges for neglect and ABH. The child fell. What they're saying is because of the shit state that the house was, that clearly he wasn't coping while the mum was away on her work trip and has gone fucking mental in the house. And like, of course, he's shaken the baby and smacked his head on the floor or whatever they'll come up with. They haven't actually specified yet. Now, there's no skull fracture, there's no subdural hematoma, there's nothing. Well, the little boy is, as much as we can tell, perfectly all right now. But social services swoop in, emergency protection order. This child is now in foster care and this man is now in Crown Court. It's an accident. Can we see how vulnerable our children are and how quick? Now, it's still really early days. This isn't going to be sorted out anytime soon. And of course, this guy is absolutely adamant. He's managed to locate an eyewitness that was there. There was no CCTV at the park. And I actually looked at the park at the top of my road. And considering all the drug dealers go there at night time and all sorts of nefarious, it looks absolutely lovely in the daytime. But a few taxi men have told me what goes on at night. You would think that of all the places that there should be CCTV is where children can potentially be abducted by groomers or have an accident like this. And you could easily clear this up, but there's no CCTV at the park, just the same as there isn't here. And this just goes to show how vulnerable we are. Because there is no evidence whatsoever that this guy has done anything wrong. And they are using a really simple fucking thing, like the dog's pissed on the carpet and shat in the kitchen floor, and has had a right old day with the contents of the kitchen bin because he's not been fed, so he's going to be looking for food. It gets worse, if it can get worse. The police have done a right old number. His marriage is now falling apart, a marriage that had been going quite happily for over 10 years. His marriage is falling apart because the police and the social services have done a right old number, exactly what they tried to do with me, and persuade his wife that this is the only scenario, that he's made up this park accident scenario. And I don't know whether she's gone along with it through fear, or she's just believed them, because, you know, you would think that the police don't lie, right? Like, they do lie. They make stuff up all the time, and the CPS then rewrite it, and you can't believe that it's even your life because it has no semblance of truth whatsoever. Can you imagine this? So there's every chance. I mean, she's got no witness status at the moment. Because it is early, although they made me a prosecution witness like within days. At the moment, she hasn't got any witness status because she wasn't there. But it's looking like she's going to end up being a prosecution witness because she's believing them at the moment. Another family ruined. Now, I've got to be careful with what I say on this. It's a similar one. How many of us have had out-of-date stuff in our fridge? I have. The shopping, like the big grocery shop got delivered, was it this week or late last week, whatever it was. I went rummaging through the fridge. Yeah, there was out-of-date shit in there. Bin. You don't keep up with it all the time. Can you imagine being in a state of trauma? Say something terrible has happened. Something about as bad as you can imagine has happened. A bereavement. And I'm not going to go into detail because I really don't want to breach trust on this. But can you imagine being in that situation? And because a bereavement has occurred, the police are in your house. Which an unexpected death, any unexpected death, the police will be in your house. Like the police get called. Like if it's unexpected, then this is just normal. And to be honest, there's nothing wrong with that, apart from what they do with it after. Apparently, child neglect on a criminal level, and we know that the boundary of proof in the family court is basically whatever a social worker makes up. And Kafkas lap it up, and so do the family court judges, and then your mediocre solicitor who works for both sides won't fight your corner. So we know that the reasonable doubt in family court may as well not be there. You get in family court, you're going to get fucked over in one way or another. Somebody always loses massively. And yeah, some people do need to be kept away from their kids, but not at this level that we're seeing. Anyway, we're not talking about that shit system, which has been corrupt forever. And that's why it is kept secret, because it is so corrupt. We're talking about policemen going around people's houses looking for a bit of dirt, looking for maybe a little bit of, I don't know, you could have been in a really shitty relationship 10 years in the past and have moved on from that, but you might have had a bit of domestic violence in your past 10, 12, 15 years ago. That won't matter. That won't matter. And this isn't, I'm not saying this is the case with what I'm saying about this situation. But these are the things. You could have had a bit of mental health. You could have had some depression. You could have had postnatal depression. You could have been made redundant from your work and gone into suffer from anxiety and depression. Anything, PTSD, doesn't really matter. But can you imagine a police force and a Crown Prosecution Service who will see a bereavement, a couple of out-of-date things in a fridge, and not much else in there, to be fair, because the shopping was due. But the cupboards were full and the freezer was full, but that doesn't matter, does it? You've got a couple of out-of-date things that need to get lobbed in the bin. Yeah, pretty much every week around here. We don't care. I know it's a waste of food, I know. So that's all you need. A couple of out-of-date things, a bereavement, one of the many things that I've just said, PTSD, DV in your past, whatever it is, and I don't know, some cobwebs. And we're not talking shit and mess everywhere. We're talking, I've been really busy, I've been really traumatised, I'm grieving, and yeah, I might not have fucking kept up with cleaning everywhere. This sounds like normal human behaviour to me. No, nay. This is not normal behaviour. You are a neglectful fucking parent, and no, it's beyond family court. It's beyond family court. We're fucking having you in the Crown Court. It's not going to get dealt with in magistrate. You're going to Crown Court. You are a grieving person. What the fuck is going on here? What the fuck is going on here? Now, with the first person that I was talking to you about, he can't go to the press. He can't go to the press because the sneaky trick's been done. The sneaky trick's been done. They've opened family court proceedings, but they're not going to even start them until the conclusion of the criminal trial. Now, it's funny how selective this is, because when ours was like fucking front page story and they were making up shit about us left, right and centre, and they wanted everyone to hate us because all of our neighbours were supporting us and family, and we weren't turning on each other, and I turned into fucking Inspector Clouseau. No one fights that because they had open family court proceedings. But our criminal proceedings, oh no, the Press Association went to the judge on a separate hearing, and I was there, and I got chucked out of court because I was effing and jeffing and calling them all everything that begins with C. It wasn't, actually it was. I was going to say it wasn't my finest moment, but actually it was. I was with my family liaison officer that day, and even he was fucking scared of me. And we both did laugh about it after, because he was like, that was quite an impressive display of swearing, yet intellect. I was like, so the Press Association went and actually went to the judge and put a thing in to have the reporting restriction lifted. And this was a reasonable amount of time in. Because at the very beginning there was no reporting restrictions, so they were there at the very beginning, and then there was the reporting restriction on, and within 2 weeks it had all gone again, so the hounds were back, kind of thing. But in these cases, I don't know about the second one. I believe there will be a reporting restriction on that, but the first one there absolutely is. There absolutely is. He said that I can tell what's going on here, so I am within reason. Whether I continue with that reason and sticking to the rules is another thing, because I can get done for this, but I don't think he can get done for it because I'm not Press Association. I potentially will give them permission and give it some thought, because like it seems a lot, could potentially be a lot of trouble, could potentially be an awful lot of trouble, because it's a bloody grey area as to whether I'd be breaking the law or not. But people need to be talking about this. People really, really need to be knowing what is going on. And it would seem that while we're all distracted with the plague, my concerns of what has been going on in criminal court is being turned into the same boundaries of corruption and the standards. I mean, how? To go to criminal court, to get a conviction, now this will be a jury trial because it's in Crown, right? So the idea of this is that you are judged by 12 of your peers. Good. We need that because these fucking solicitors and judges can't be trusted. They're all in on it. How can the CPS, with a situation like this guy, how can there be no reasonable doubt? What the fuck are they doing? Yes, there was an accident. Yes, the dog had trashed the kitchen and pissed on the carpet and shat on the floor. If you were to, like, and of course, they've taken all the photos of all this mess everywhere, but they have to take photos of the rest of the house as well. And the rest of the house is neat and tidy. The dog's dragged a couple of things from the kitchen bin into the living room. But upstairs, the bedrooms are all tidy, the bathroom's all clean. Like, so they have to take they have to take pictures of the whole house and the garden, the lawn was cut, you know, like a normal home. Why are they wasting taxpayers' money and traumatising parents like it's some fucking witch hunt? Any old excuse to put your kids in foster care. Why the fuck are they doing that in the criminal court as well as they've been doing it in the family court? I am so angry about it. And if we could lose our kids through neglect, because there's a bit of shit messes, well, cobwebs and a bit of dirt in our house and a couple of things out of date in the fridge, are any of our kids safe? Well, I know they're not. No, absolutely they're not. And it just takes one thing, one accident or one tragedy, and before you know it, things that for normal people, you'd be like, yeah, well, I've got a busy life, I work, I've got kids, I know how, you know, the ironing pile grows until Sunday. What? Like, what? And that is normal. We would accept that in a busy family, this one's going judo, this one's going football. Like life is busy. Life is busy. And it's not unheard of that some dust bunnies might appear in the corner of the carpets. It's not uncommon. You might not have put everything away as it should be, or like, really? Is this a reason to be in criminal court? Well, apparently, due to the plague, it absolutely is. This shit, child neglect, puts you behind bars. But let's be clear here. You could be an ex-social worker, like we've had in the newspapers. I haven't got my laptop down here, so I can't remember the name of the creature. Creatures even pushing it, isn't it? I never say animal because I love animals and we're all creatures, so there isn't a word, is there? But we've got some fucking nonce who had over 1 million images of child pornography, and he doesn't get any prison. He fucking should. But a simple accident, if you're a normal person, you're not up in social services, you're not up in the hierarchy of this country, which seems to be more of us are going down and the ones at the top are still there. And they're in that privileged position. They don't have to give a fuck. They can do whatever they want. But you can have one small thing in your life change. A bit of depression. I don't know, anything. Anything. Like a bit of depression, an accident, a bereavement, a fight. You know, like, I don't mean a fisty fight, but yelling. I mean, my neighbours, they're lucky that they've not had social services around there because they are screaming at each other every other day of the week. And it upsets me because it bothers me because I just don't like hearing it. I don't like it. But if they had social workers around there, if they're in the middle of one of their fucking arguments, Like, and the kid's screaming its head off. Does it mean that they should have their children taken into care? No, it doesn't, because they're worse in care. They'll have a worse time in care. Does it mean that we need to be supporting people more? Yeah, absolutely it does. I'm just so sick to death of this shit. So sick to death of it. And it's happening more and more. I've got other people who are on bail at the moment for equally random reasons, pending what the CPS are going to do. Well, the CPS are probably going to have you in Crown Court, because it would seem they can have you in Crown Court for anything now. Anyway, sorry about this, but we need to be talking about it. We need to be talking about it, because if the level of corruption that we've had in the family courts for the last 25, 30 years is creeping into the criminal court, then we are fucked. I need to look up on the internet. Are they building super prisons somewhere in the UK? Is this what this shit is all about? Is Serco going to be rubbing its hands together and its quotes out to orders in because we're not building, we need the super prison because we're going to start like banging everyone up and making shit up and putting them away for things that are just accidents or just unfortunate set of circumstances. Now, let's not forget, that was an accident and that first child was harmed, right? It was an accident. He fell over. He fell off a slide. Horrible. Horrible. And that dad feels fucking terrible that he didn't grab it. And he's not lying. I know he's not lying. We think we've got some tricks up our sleeves here, because this is the thing. The CPS and the police will be very selective on proving how... They'd rather not prove it and carry on writing the shit that they're writing. I mean, for Christ's sake, if you read some of these initial reports, mind you, I've seen them before, it's like, you would think this guy was fucking Fred West. That's the way they write them. They write them as bad as they possibly can, which I can't see how that's not perjury. I can't see how that's not perjury. Making shit up is perjury. Telling people to plead guilty because you'll get a lesser sentence. You might not get any prison, or you might just get a suspended sentence, or a fine or whatever. That's asking innocent people to asking parents to plead guilty to neglect when it's an accident, or And what happens if you plead guilty to this? It really fucking affects your job and your whole future. Because, all right, you've got a criminal record for, I don't know, other things. I don't know. If you end up with a criminal record for some things, it doesn't, if you're honest about it, I guess it doesn't affect you so much in your future employment and the opportunities that are open to you. But child neglect comes under the child abuse bracket. Who the hell? This guy is 30 years old, so he's a lot younger than me, you know? Who the hell wants something on their criminal record that can affect the next 35 years of your working life and reduce where you can go, what you can do? It's just, Yeah, we can't talk about it. We can't talk about it in detail. I can't show you what's going on here because I don't really want to go to prison. Who the fuck does want to go to prison? If I was a braver person, right? If I was a braver person, if I was a stronger person, then yeah, I should be going, fuck it. Everyone needs to know this. Everyone needs to see this. But I'm not, because I've been through my own trauma that I struggle with from time to time. And I don't want to give the police the benefit of the doubt, like the benefit of seeing me behind bars. Maybe there's journalists out there that want to tell these stories, but they don't want to go to prison either. You wouldn't get independent journalists like Anna Breeze or Sonia Porton who've got a bigger platform. They wouldn't want to be showing, well, they'd want to show these documents, but they wouldn't because they know you're not allowed. You can go to prison. And who wants that? We've got families. I don't know what to do. I'm going to fucking pick this guy's case apart. I am going to find new medical experts. And because we've got time, he's pled not guilty. So this is going to take a year at least. There's time. And as long as you're picking at it and fighting and filing reports and fighting evidence and keep submitting that into the court, there's a chance that it gets chucked out before it even goes to trial. So I think that at the moment, that's about the only productive thing that I can think of doing. So that's what I am doing at the moment, is trying to find medical experts. That's no easy task, because no one wants to go up against these court medical experts who do it day in, day out for money. They're not practicing doctors anymore. They're not these brain specialists, medical experts. They're not there in surgery. They're not working for the NHS anymore. Some of them are in research, but most of them aren't. Most of these fuckers are retired, and they spend their whole life writing reports of court and being court experts because they are actors and they know how to do it. Now, try and get a real paediatric neurologist, one that works with kids every day of the week, one who just doesn't even know about this horrificness that is going on in the criminal and family court. Do you think that's going to work when you're up against these well-trained, hardened, experienced court experts? That doesn't mean the expertise is anymore. It just means they're better at it. And they know the prosecuting barristers they're working with. They know the QCs and silks that they're working with. They know the solicitors they're working with. And they know the police that they're working with. It's just not fair. These medical trials are horrific. Horrific. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Get one from overseas, I guess, but that's going to come down to cash. Because these fuckers, they even nice ones, they don't work for nothing, and it's not cheap. You know, you got all their expenses and their travel and all the rest of it. But, you know, we had to do it. So, yeah. Well, let's just identify them, send them the paperwork, I guess, and take it from there. But yeah, it'll be mortgaging the house and selling assets, same as it was for us. So, see if I don't know what his financial situation is like, but I don't know. Right, enough of that, because I've bored myself off. Bore off, Sharon girl, you miserable sullen old bag. Right, next video I'm going to do, I don't know when I'm going to do it, because I am waiting for somebody else to give me the go-ahead, and I spoke to him this morning, and a plan has hatched. So, but it certainly won't be as heavy as this, and I'm conscious that we need to, because everything is so dark at the moment, and a lot of what I get involved with is so corrupt and so dark and so depressive. I think we're allowed to have a little fun with the shyster takedowns. So in between actually being productive, I think we'll have our lighter moments, because we all enjoyed the John Wedger Generation Game What Did He Win video. I certainly did. Cracked me up. I didn't like the fucking shit that come off the back of it, but hey ho, over that. Over that. Haven't been murdered. So carry it on. Let's carry on. On that note, let's give John Wedger the benefit of the doubt. He's not uploaded a video of his own for a week over now. Maybe he's compiling all the paperwork. Maybe he's been to the accountant. Maybe he's going to go, I needed a van for this, like for the foundation. This is where all the money goes. Look, I can account for every penny of it. Maybe that's it. I mean, I'm not good with my expenses. It's like receipts, in a carrier bag, and then it's like, oh yeah, no, that was a sandwich, can't count that one. And it takes a while for me to sort of do the old monthly accounts. So as we haven't seen any accounts off of him since this foundation first reared its head, yeah, maybe he's spending the whole week getting his head down and going, no, I'm an honourable man. These people are saying all this on the internet, I'm going to get my shit together and I'm going to prove them all wrong. Maybe. Ever the optimist. I'm not. As a betting woman, I'm not betting a fiver on it. But we never know. Stranger things have happened. I'm expecting to go to Canada in the next few months, and I am going to find Bigfoot. So there we go. Anyway, is it Thursday today? Thursday today. I have got a stupid busy weekend. This house is going to be full with grown kids watching football and eating the place out of where it's going to be like having a plague of locusts. So if it's not too noisy, if I can get this video, if I can get this next video done tomorrow, I'll try, but I'm not sure we're all quite in the, I don't know if I'll be ready tomorrow. But with that in mind, if it's not over the weekend, then I'll upload on Monday. Okay. Anyway, have a great weekend. If it isn't till Monday, football's on, so obviously we're wanting the Arsenal to win because I've got a bet with Mike Tarrager and it's not looking good for me. It's not looking good for me. So, yeah, I've got a bet. I walked into it. I walked in. And then I said to my son, I said, Arsenal better win at the weekend. I said, I've got a bet with someone. And, I'm going to have to buy a couple of books if I lose. And he said, Mum, you're going to have to buy a couple of books. Could have said that before, my overconfidence, couldn't he? I don't know, do I? Anyway, so let's have a good football weekend and I'll talk to you as and when I can. All right, take care. Bye.